Beeswarm Simulator is the oldest simulator on Roblox that is still alive to this day, nearing its 7-year anniversary. But where did it all start? This brings us all the way back to March 23rd, 2018, where Onett had just released the game. Back then, the game was very simple. Players only had to collect pollen, convert that pollen into honey, then use that honey to purchase new tools and backpacks to keep progressing. The map at the time was much smaller than the one we have today, but still big enough to give players the goal of exploring the whole thing. While players collected honey for obtaining a better backpack or tools, quests could also be completed to gain some extra honey. After seeing the extreme success of his game, even some of the most iconic YouTubers at the time, like Denis and Tofuu, had made videos on it, gave Onett the incentive to continue work on his game. Just 3 weeks later, on April 10th, 2018, new backpack quests were added to the game, awarding a diamond egg on completion. This came along with the addition of hats or masks, as well as hive expansion, allowing players to add more bees to their hive. 17 days later, on the 27th of April 2018, Onett added the biggest update yet. It came with 4 new bees: Looker Bee, Commander, Music, and Photon Bee, along with the first ever Sunbear event. Sunbear brought along new shoulder guards and belt bags, which were used to buff the player's honey making even further. A new currency aside from honey made its debut. This was tickets. Along with this, Onett added the ticket tent, ticket shop, and royal jelly dispenser, which cost 6 tickets in exchange for 1 royal jelly. And finally, Onett introduced field boosters, giving players the ability to boost random fields and farm that field for extra honey for a certain period of time. On May 7, 2018, Onett introduced a small but important update: the auto-click by holding down the mouse button, making it much less strenuous to farm for prolonged periods of time. Some other balance changes were added. 5 days later, on May 12, 2018, Tabby Bee made its debut, along the introduction of badges, giving players yet another thing to grind towards. The times 2 ticket chance game pass was also introduced, however, it was later set to off sale about 2 months later due to balance issues. Sparkles were also added in this update, however, Onett never gave them an official name, prompting the community to originally call it Spit. Onett quickly confirmed its official name. Only 6 days later, on May 18, 2018, Onett introduced promo codes, an easy way for players just starting the game to get some extra honey. Most of the promo codes added in this update are still available to this day. May 26, 2018, the Gummy Invasion has arrived, a new event similar to Sunbear which brought along a new travelling bear called Gummy Bear, as well as introducing the new mechanic of Goo, alongside Gumdrops and the Gummy Bee. Goo allowed players to make more honey while normally farming, causing Gumdrops to become very sought after. Before the Gummy Bee was obtainable through the ticket shop, you had to complete the Gummy Bear's quest line, and if you missed your opportunity, you weren't able to obtain it for quite some time. On June 2nd, 2018, superheroes had come to BSS. The Crimson and Cobalt bees were added with abilities that synergized with each other, with the idea of uniting the bees. For the first time in a while, Onett added new tools: the Clippers, Electromagnet, and the Porcelain Dipper, which started the idea of the Porcelain Gear. July 11th, 2018, Onett decided to drop the biggest update yet, the Gifted Bee update, which brought along treats and amulets. With this update, bees can now become gifted, a better version of the ungifted type, and also provides the hive with a bonus unique to the bee. These gifted bees allow players to roll star amulets in the new Star Hall, giving players the idea to run more mixed hive rather than just all legendaries. This update also gave players a new minigame challenge, the Ant Challenge, allowing players to obtain an ant amulet with better scores, awarding better amulets. The Mother Bear and Onett NPCs were also added for the first time, the Onett NPC providing a difficult questline for more advanced players to complete. Fast forward all the way to September 9th, 2018, the Vicious and Puppy Bee were introduced. Along with these new bees, the update also brought in a consumable, Stingers, which boosts attack for a short period of time. Sprinklers were also introduced, replenishing the fields by watering them after players had farmed in them. Along with this, the day-night cycle was also added, allowing Rogue Vicious Bee to spawn, allowing players to obtain Stingers. During nighttime, a new sprout type, Moon Sprouts, randomly spawned, which dropped moon charms, which could be used to generate the new Moon Amulet. This update also added Star Jellies, a new variant of Royal Jellies, which guaranteed a gifted bee. And finally, this update introduced Boots, which allowed players to collect honey by just walking in fields. About 2 months later, on November 25th, 2018, Onett added 2 new bees, the Stubborn and Carpenter bees, introducing the new ability Honey and Pollen Marks. This update introduces crafting, a new system for creating items for other items, some of them accessible through the blender, but others like the Endgame mask were found in secret spots around the map. The stump field was also introduced in this update, with the all new stumps now. This came alongside NPCs such as Stickbug, Riley Bee, and Bucko Bee, which all required translators to talk to. These were received on the completion of Science Bear's 21st, 26th, and 31st quests. On December 19th of 2018, we met with another bee, the Festive Bee. A bee which can give gifts to all players in the server upon the collection of its token, Festive Gifts. This is also the first ever winter event to ever come to Bee Swarm Simulator. This brought along a new travelling bear, Bee Bear, who has a questline which awarded presents which could be given to other NPCs and the Festive Bee Egg. Alongside this, on Christmas Day, the first ever Honey Day event had arrived, allowing players to make times 2 pollen and times 2 convert rate for 48 hours. A new item named the Festive Bean was also added, dropping the equivalent of Festive Bee's festive gifts, but stacked up to 5 minutes. The first update of 2019. On February 1st, we received a small update which removed the winter event and introduced the Honeybee NPC, which offered scaling quests which awarded the player with a temporary conversion rate bonus upon completion. This update also brought along the annoying sound whenever someone earned a badge. Fast forward another 2 months, on the 5th of April 2019, we received the Midgame update, in which the new Midgame backpacks, Golden Rake and Spark Staff were introduced, alongside the new items such as micro converters and field dice. This update also introduced one of the biggest balance changes ever. Only 12 days later, Bee Swarm Simulator was a part of the 2019 Scrambled in Time Egg Hunt event. This update caused many new players to join the game, growing Bee Swarm as a game significantly. It also brought the addition of jelly beans and marshmallow beans. Jelly beans being a very overpowered item, causing Onett to nerf it in the near future. Another 5 months had gone by before we got our next update. This is when Onett's update schedule started to decline. However, this is one of the biggest updates ever, so Onett can be forgiven this time. The update included the new Endgame 35B zone with the new NPC Spirit Bear. This zone included 2 new fields, the Coconut Field and the Pepper Patch. These allowed players to generate more amounts of honey. We also received new items, the Coconut Clogs, a new type of boots to sit between the porcelain boots and the gummy boots, the Coconut Canister, the next best backpack, which it still is to this day, and finally, the Pedal Wand and Belt, both crafted using the Spirit Pedal awarded when completing Spirit Bear's 10th, 20th, and 30th quests. Winnie Bee was also added in this update, becoming one of the most RNG bees to obtain, having a small chance of taming when donating 10 Cloud Valves to the Wind Shrine. What made it incredibly hard is that the max Cloud Valves was 10, and to spawn a wild Winnie Bee, to get the Cloud Valves, you had to donate it to the Wind Shrine, which had a cooldown of 1 hour. However, for many people, the work paid off. On December 23rd, 2019, one of the best Bee Swarm updates had arrived, the Mythic Bee update. This update included 3 new bees of the new Mythic variant, Tadpole Bee, Vector Bee, and Spicy Bee, which came along with Bee Swarm's annual winter event. Ornaments and gift boxes were a new addition to the winter update. Ornaments, which are placed on the beesmas tree after obtaining, are obtained when giving presents to NPCs, which provided small buffs to the player, while gift boxes are hidden around the map, only available to be opened after completion of the NPC's winter quests. This update also brought along Cub Buddies and mutations, an additional flex to your hive. Fast forward 4 months to the first update of 2020, in April 6th. Sunbear returns for the Roblox Egg Hunt 2020 Agents of Egg. Players flock to Bee Swarm to obtain the new Swarming Egg of the Hive, and Black Bear receives a new Mythic Egg questline for players to grind for. Alongside the Egg Hunt, chicks were added to the game as a new mob. Mono Chick rewards were extremely overpowered at the time, dropping some really good honey, bitterberries, micro converters, and marshmallow bees, and the occasional star treat and mythic eggs. However, this later had to be nerfed. This update also added the Fuzzy Bee, yet another mythic bee that allows low tier fields such as the Sunflower Field to become just as good as something like the Coconut Field. You could also now speed up crafting in the Blender, allowing players that couldn't spend prolonged periods of time in the game to get their crafting done. June 6, 2020, the update that revolutionized hive colors. A new tier of star amulet was added, the Supreme Star Amulet, requiring 40 discovered gifted bee types and 10 billion honeys. The star included passives which encouraged new and unique playstyle to maximize honey in its respective color. Boosting began to evolve rapidly due to the introduction of this amulet. players would go on to make tenfold of what they were originally making. For example, Elon was able to maximize a double passive Supreme Star Amulet, Guiding Saw, along with the new feature Mythic Meteor Showers, to completely break the game and make over 100 trillion in one day. However, Onett quickly nerfed the Mythic Meteor Showers due to how game-breaking it was. A whole 5 months went by before we got another update. On November 23rd, 2020, Beestorm Simulator was featured in the Ready Player 2 Roblox event, adding the new NPC bee, Digital Bee. Although this bee was only an NPC, many players speculated about it actually becoming a bee you can put in your hive. Moving forward to the Beesmas update of 2020 on December 25th, Gingerbread and Snowflakes had made their debut in Beestorm Simulator, each with unique abilities. Snowbear had also arrived as a new mob, which allowed players to work together to defeat higher leveled Snowbear to receive more snowflakes. The usual things from last Beesmas like Bee Bear and ornaments made their return, as well as a new feature Bee Quips. Bee Quips give bees some extra stat buffs and in some cases an extra ability. After this update, we didn't receive any unique updates other than Beesmas until 2023. The Beesmas 2021 update brought along a lot of new content, mainly focused towards endgame players, with the introduction of the endgame tools. Alongside this, we also got Pushrooms and Planters. Pushrooms, forcing players to work together to get higher level Pushrooms and rewards, while Planters added a new feature called Nectar. When harvested, a planter would give the player nectar corresponding to the planter, its percentage grown, and which field it was placed in. 2 new bees were also added, the Buoyant and Precise Bee. These new bees, alongside with the new endgame tools, revolutionized hive colors even further, encouraging players to find new metas. The Beesmas 2022 update yet again was focused on endgame players, adding the Robo challenge alongside the Digital Bee, which is currently the best bee in the game due to its unique abilities and scalability. The Robo challenge was very difficult to complete even for more experienced players, and would take a lot of time if you wanted to grind it out. 2 new planters were also added, the heat-treated and hydroponic planters, corresponding to the red and blue hive colors. After this update was where things started going downhill for Onett. 2023 was the first time Beesmas wasn't released on time, and he had received lots of backlash for it. It caused him to lose much motivation for the game, and in the heat of the moment, making an announcement in his Discord server which shocked many. He stated things like, "Stop wasting your time on this game, and I don't know when the update will be released." This made it pretty obvious that Beesmas was going to be delayed. We might not even get it this year. It didn't really help things throughout the community, but Onett later realized and wrote an apology on the same day. It is clear that the updates in the near future will lack much new content, and could be just repeatable Beesmases after each other. However, this didn't stop Onett from releasing what he thought was going to be the final update. On the 12th of January 2024, Onett added a new cosmetic feature, Stickers, which allowed players to customize their hives with new hive colors and stickers. Trading was also added, allowing players to trade only stickers and bee quips. Some players sought after new stickers to complete their collection or sticker stack, while others sought after the most valuable stickers. Fast forward another 4 months, on the 23rd of May 2024. Still no Beesmas, although Beestorm Simulator is participating in yet another Roblox event, the Classic event. This update added a new challenge to the game where you protect the hives by defeating waves of slimes and zombies with a limited amount of bees and honey. With this update came the addition of the Coconut Belt, a highly anticipated item which was in the works for months. It provided a new and expensive alternative for endgame players to work towards. We also received a new mutation which became the most overpowered mutation in the game, Bee Move Speed, allowing endgame players to further max out their hives. This update also included the biggest balance change ever in Beestorm history, causing players to find new metas for their respective hive colors. July 17, 2024, Beesmas was finally released. It wasn't that much different to previous Beesmases, although it did add new cosmetics such as the wavy festive hive skin and the doodle cub skin. This update was also revolved around stickers, which meant all the Beesmas quests required them, which essentially inflated the value of all stickers in the game, causing players to go into a trading frenzy. This was the most players that Beestorm Simulator had ever had, and also the most grindy Beesmas we have ever had. 1 month later, Beestorm Simulator was participating in Roblox's The Games event. Sunbear had arrived for the first time in 4 years, bringing a new feature to the game, Golf. Players would collect honey around the golf ball, then shoot it towards the hole while avoiding the mud. This golf update would stick around without having any purpose, and with no word on it, players were quite confused. December 17, 2024, people had just realized that Beestorm Simulator is participating in Roblox's Winter Spotlight event, and a day later, Onett dropped Beesmas. With no prior word or hype to this, players were very surprised, and with the lack of much new content, this update did not bring as many players as prior Beesmases did. The only addition was the new Choose a Mythic Egg, which allows players to choose which mythic egg they hatch into their hive, as well as a new ornament for Sunbear on the Beesmas tree. Only 8 days later on Christmas Day, Onett added Honey Day when you claimed the hive. A new Robux pack costing 4,500 Robux, which included a new item named the Nectar Shower Vial, which gives every player in the server every type of nectar for 4 hours.